That was a defining moment for me. I was in Mississippi, Aisha. Yeah, I was in Mississippi. And it freed me. Now you got to ask somebody what time it is. So that was freedom. So that was part of the promise. I wanted freedom. And I promised God, I said, if you now I went to Ole Miss, now trust me, undergraduate, and then I went to Ole Miss Medical School. And now, I was obviously pretty, I don't know if I was a little bit crazy. Because in my third year of medical school, which is the most trifling year, I changed my name. And I went to the man and I said to him, my name is no longer this. He said, are you going to turn in this good Christian name? I said, sir, if it was a good Christian name, my folks never would have been slaves. Slave name. So I gave it back. I said, you can have it. So inshallah, you know, we are here to talk about a few things, and what I like to do is try to paint a picture. And the picture that you have to paint is where we have been, where we are now, and where we want to be. Where we want to be. Now, 50 years later, after that great march, 435,000 African American males remain in jail. 435,000 in jail. The African American unemployment rate is 2 times that of whites. Poverty, health care, housing, disproportionately unequal. So, what is that promise? That promise is something of hope. Pioneers sacrificed. Blood, sweat, tears to keep that hope alive. So when I see the young brothers that get up and they talk about the struggles of what they're trying to do and how they're trying to move this, we have to provide a platform for them to exercise that hope. Now I want to go back to something that Honorable Mohammed gave us. He said that we just work in food, clothing, and shelter.
That's right.
Just food, clothing, and shelter. There's so much business in food, clothing, and shelter.
That's right.
And we will barely have scratched the surface.
That's right.
And let me share a few things with you. I'm getting up out of here. I won't talk too long. I don't see nobody going to sleep. You know, it's hard to follow Aisha. I tell you, I got a little bit of word. I said, man, everybody's saying everything I want to say. But they say, when everybody says what you say, go for what you know. All right, now whatever I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about 3 things, okay? I want to talk about hunger. And we have got to find our places in this. This is where we got to go. We got to find our places here. According to the UN, and I spent a lot of time working with the UN trying to figure out what this world hunger thing. I was in Uganda, And I was speaking with the Prime Minister of Uganda. They invited me as a guest to come there to talk about feeding the people of Uganda. But now, here's what my mission was. That's what they wanted me to do, but I was looking at something different. I was trying to figure out how to put some food in the Middle East so we can get some of that oil money. That's not so bad, is it? Okay, so according to the UN, 1.2 billion people, 1.2 billion, 5 billion people on the planet, 1.2 live in extreme poverty. That's on Earth. Now we just can't see ourselves as people living in Chicago, living in LA, and living in New Medina, and we have to become global. Our leader pointing us to global. So that's where we have to go. 870 million people go to bed hungry every night. 870 million. In the United States, 6.7 million people, or households, 5.4% of all households, live in extreme poverty. Now here's what the United States said. In 2006, they changed the definition. And they eliminated any reference to hunger. So in other words, the United States said, we don't have any hungry people. And what they replaced it with is something called very low food insecurity. Well, we all know what hunger is. It's hunger is an uneasy and painful sensation that's caused by lack of food. That's what hunger is. But this is what the United States is saying. So again, the people at the UN say, you know, they put a think tank together. Because they say that by 2050, there will be 9 billion people on the planet Earth. 9 billion. So we're going to have to increase food production by 70 to 100% in order to keep up with feeding the people. Now, we haven't feeling it yet here in the United States. We still got a lot of food on the plate. We still got a lot of waste. But if you don't believe it, look at your grocery bill 2 years ago and look at it tomorrow when you go to the grocery store. It's going to get us. Now, the good president has sent a mandate out. I'm 16 years United States Air Force. 16 years. I was Lieutenant Colonel when I left. Brother Nasheed. Just like you, I was Lieutenant Colonel when I walked out. They asked me, why don't you stay for 4 more years? Well, I made more money in 2 years outside the military than I made the whole 16 years. So the UN says that the key to alleviating this hunger and poverty is family farming. And I was very happy once again when I looked on your website and I saw community farming.
I spent all of last week passing out food to my neighbors and anybody because I had too much. My family we couldn't eat. My refrigerator's full, my freezer's full.
That's verification.
Mason jars are all full.
That's verifying what I'm saying. Now we got a product with Aurora Agri. Now whenever I look at a thing, I look at how can the community benefit. And I would be more specific. How can Imam W.D. Muhammad's community benefit? That's what I look at. Now, Inc. magazine, is it July issue? July issue had in there Biosoil, the group that manufactures the product for us. They said they was the #2 most progressive company in the United States. #1, obviously, in Mississippi. They've increased their production by 4,000%. Utilizing the product. It's nothing but a microbial base. We've got bugs in a